Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, this ceremony will begin in 2 minutes. We want everyone to enjoy the tradition and pageantry of today's event, so please refrain from going forward to the seating area during the ceremony. We also ask that you discontinue the use of any cell phones or electronic devices at this time. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's ceremony for Colonel Stephen P. Carpenter, who will be brought to the rank of Brigadier General. Officiating today's ceremony is the Commanding General of Training and Doctrine Command, General Paul E. Funk II. Please stand for the arrival of the official party. On this special occasion, General Funk has deferred honors to Colonel Carpenter following his promotion to Brigadier General. During his last, he may be honored with his first ruffles and forces as Brigadier General. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as the 1st Cavalry Division Chaplain, Chaplain Torres, gives the invocation.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we are gathered to celebrate this momentous occasion, the promotion of Colonel Stephen Carpenter to the rank of Brigadier General. We are grateful for the manner in which you have blessed Colonel Carpenter, his wife Caitlin, and their 5 children. As Colonel Carpenter is entrusted with great responsibilities, I ask that you, O Lord, would direct his steps and give him the strength to accomplish all that is required of him. Bestow him with the spirit of wisdom and valor as he inspires troopers throughout our formation to be courageous, audacious, and victorious. Continue to pour out your blessing and favor upon Colonel Carpenter and his family beyond measure as he lives a legend and strives to make powerful, personal, and permanent influence in the lives of our troopers and their families. Empower him to lead with humility and integrity in our first team, and continue to be his constant source of inspiration and strength in the months and years to come. These things we humbly pray in your mighty name. Amen.
Please be seated. The presentation of roses is a long-standing cavalry tradition. Yellow roses are Colonel Carpenter's spouse, signify the bonds of loyalty and affection between the United States Army and Mrs. Caitlin Carpenter. At this time, Private First Class Jacob is presenting a bouquet of a dozen yellow roses to Mrs. Carpenter for her appreciation and her support throughout Colonel Carpenter's military career. Bouquets of 3 yellow roses are being presented to Colonel Carpenter's daughters, Ella, Karis, Landry, and Kyla Carpenter. A miniature Napoleon cannon is being presented to his son, Benson Carpenter. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to the playing of the national anthem. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Major General John B. Richardson IV.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing the officiating officer this afternoon. But before I do, I just want to take a few minutes, since I got the mic, to say a couple things. about Steve. So Steve has been my deputy for the last year, and it has been an incredible year. And the impact he has had on this division, I can't even begin. I didn't know Steve all the time. I learned something from Steve every single day. I learned something about leadership from Steve. You all know Steve. If you're here, you know him. And you know he's an incredible coach and an incredible inspirational leader. And I'm sure we're going to hear about Coach Carpenter, the real Coach Carpenter, before this day is over. And unfortunately, I never got the opportunity to meet him, but I feel like I have. I feel like he works through Steve on a almost daily basis for me. And I feel like I know him because I know Steve. Matter of fact, I got something in my wallet I've been carrying 2 weeks now since it came to my attention. We talk a lot about leadership in the division, about leaders taking action. And Steve sent me a letter that his dad wrote him while he was at that basic training, feeling a little sorry for himself, worried that he was losing too much weight before the season started. And I took a quote out of the letter that Steve's dad wrote to him while he was a cadet basic training. And it said, "Leadership is the guiding force that makes the means possible. The supreme function of the leader is to set the example." This is a guy who lives that every single day. He sets the example. He is the standard. And today, I know Coach Carpenter is extremely proud. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Commanding General of General Paul Frocking.
Wow, what an extraordinary day. I can't begin to tell you how much this means to me, Steve, to let me be here. And Johnny, that was a perfect quote. I absolutely. Good to see you too. And so, what a magnificent day. Look at this. Just take a second and look up at this great Army family sitting up here in this front row and give them all a big round of applause. It is true what they say, we all married way up. And so Caitlin, I'll tell you what, Steve, you got lucky there, right? Very lucky. And this beautiful family is such an amazing representation of our great Army. So I want to give a special thanks to all of our distinguished guests here today and to all the soldiers and civilians who worked so hard behind the scenes to make this event possible on the eve of 4th of July weekend. What a great job. Let's give them all a big round of applause. So the truth is, we all stand on the shoulders of giants, those who have come before us, those who have set a standard, and those who continue to walk with us. Our success is a direct result of their commitment, self-service, and sacrifice. And that is certainly evident here today as I look out at the family and friends of the Carpenters. To all of Steve's family and friends here in attendance, and to all those who are looking down on him today with great love and pride, I want you to know that it is truly a privilege for me to be here. I told you I was going to get emotional. You didn't have to ask me. I told you it would happen. To those wife and better half of over 21 years, Caitlin, thank you. Steve wouldn't be here without you today. To Ella, Karis, Landry, Caleb, and Vincent, thank you for sharing your dad with us. He's so proud of you. To all of Steve's family here today, Jody, Julie, Ryan, Nathan, John, Anna, and Lauren, family is incredibly important to Steve, and I know your presence means the world to him. To Coach Mike, to Jamie, Terry, and Steve's West Point classmates, former football players who I'm told were 4-0 against Navy. All right, let me hear that. Is that true? Nice. All right. So, thanks for taking the time to be here today. Steve has an extraordinary record of service, leading our soldiers and solving the most problems. His promotion today is our Army's recognition of his potential to serve for service at higher levels of complexity and higher levels of responsibility and trust. He has demonstrated the potential in spades in every assignment. I have watched him command soldiers in our Army for the last 10 years. I would bet every star I have, every dollar I had, that if you have not been impacted in a positive way by Steve Carpenter, you're missing out on. I will tell you that this is a leader of unparalleled professionalism, unparalleled supreme care for his men and women under his charge, and more importantly, he believes in family and faith. He is the son of a coach, as Johnny so eloquently, and the son of a Marine. He grew up on athletic fields. He grew up in competition, in conflict, and he grew up wanting to go to West Point and play football. And he's done all of those. He's proud to say he was sworn on against Navy. Somehow he messed up and commissioned field artillery, which, as we all know, is just a support branch to the cavalry. But nonetheless, he overcame that. And we're going to fix that today, because he'll become a generalist after this. But I'm pretty sure his roots still run pretty deep and pretty red, and he'll be a phenomenal leader in our Army. He started here at Fort Hood, and he got lucky enough. I'm sure he was down conducting some sort of reconnaissance around Texas State when he happened to meet a girl and fall in love. I'm sure he was doing something for the Army in that regard, no doubt. But he loves team sports, and he loves being in the Army, and he loves his family, and he loves his faith. You see, this is more about love than anything else. When you find somebody who loves what he does, or what she does, you find somebody that walks in a better path, that understands what it means to sacrifice in service, that it's for the greater good. You find someone like Steve Carpenter. I can say with confidence that Steve brings the intellectual horsepower, the operational experience, and the passion for our profession that will be required for our Army in the future. We will all benefit from his dynamic leadership as a general officer. I know this: if my sons or daughters were in the Army, I would want Steve Carpenter to lead them into combat. I say that unequivocally. I have seen what he can do. I've watched him mentor people. I've seen him take notes on the back of MRE boxes because he wanted to make a point to somebody to make sure that they understood his leadership philosophy. More importantly, that he understood that he cared enough about him to really talk him through a hard piece. I actually saw him change the condition in our Army for all those soldiers and all of our general officers. He established the training platform that we have today in the general officer as a lieutenant colonel. This is the kind of guy that we want leading our Army into the future. This is the kind of guy that we want helping our nation come back together and lead into the next century. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a soldier. This is soon to be a general, our Army's newest Brigadier General, and more importantly, my dear friend. Steve, Caitlin, I'm so proud of you. This is a phenomenal day in our Army, a great day in the first team. And of course, as we all know, every day is a great day in the first team. And I am very excited to say, let us get up here and publish the orders.
At this time, General Funk will prepare Colonel Carpenter's uniform for promotion to Brigadier General by removing the crossed cannons on the field artillery from Colonel Carpenter's lapels. General officers no longer wear their branch insignia, as they are expected to not only be experts at their basic branch, but demonstrate general expertise across all the branches. Please remain seated for the publishing of the orders. Attention to orders. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Stephen P. Carpenter. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is therefore authorized and directed to wear the uniform and one-star insignia of Brigadier General by authority of the Secretary of Defense, effective 16 June 2022. Brigadier General Carpenter's new rank will be pinned on by his family, Landry and Kyle. They will place his epaulets with General Officer epaulets. Ella and Karis will pin the General Officer insignia on each shoulder. Finally, Vincent and Mrs. Carpenter will remove the Colonel's eagle from his Stetson and replace it with the General Officer insignia. The General Stars are the oldest rank insignia in use by the armed forces of the United States. When the Army was established in 1775, the Continental Congress commissioned George Washington as General and Commander-in-Chief. He, along with his Major Generals and Brigadier Generals, wore distinctive colored sashes as a visual display of their rank. A few years later, the stars replaced the sashes as General Officers' insignia. On 18 June 1780, a directive prescribed that Major Generals would wear 2 stars and Brigadier Generals would wear 1 star on each epaulet. Mrs. Carpenter will also change General Carpenter's Cavalry Stetson cord. The hat cord serves as a visual symbol of rank and authority from a distance. Enlisted troopers wear wool cords dyed of the color of their occupational specialty. Commissioned officers of the rank lieutenant through colonel wear a gold and black woven cord, and the general officer's hat is pure gold. It is tradition for officers to affirm the oath of office in their new rank. General Funk will now administer the oath to Brigadier General Carpenter.
I state your full name.
I, Stephen Paul Carpenter,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
on which I'm about to enter,
on which I'm about to enter.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Now, Brigadier General Carpenter will receive his customary General Officer personal property. At this time, General Funk will now present the General Officer Belt to Brigadier General Carpenter. In 1943, the Chief of Staff, General Marshall, expressed a desire for a belt to be used by all general officers when carrying sidearms. It was his idea that this belt, other than providing a convenient means of carrying a pistol, would add a dressier touch to the khaki shirt and trousers. The belt is soft, pliable black leather with a gold-plated buckle. The buckle design is the coat of arms of the United States. The belt may be worn with or without the holster. The uniform the belt may be worn with and the occasion for wear are entirely at the discretion of each general officer. It is typically donned at ceremonial events such as promotions, awards, and retirement ceremonies. Brigadier General Carpenter's son, Vincent, will present the General Officer Pistol to Brigadier General Carpenter. Title 10, U.S. Code Section 2574, allows each active duty general officer to receive a General Officer Model M9 pistol on loan and purchase it when he or she retires. The pistols are unique in that they are procured specifically for general officers with the serial numbers prefixed with the letters GO. Mrs. Caitlin Carpenter and Brigadier General Carpenter will now uncase his personal General Officer flag. The original flags authorized for general officers were boat flags, scarlet in color. They were first authorized in War Department General Order No. 4, dated 22 August, 1903, for use by officers of the Army when making official visits to Navy vessels. The authorization of flags was further expanded to include automobile flags and field and office flags in 1923. The current policy for display and use of general officer flags is prescribed in Army Regulation 840-10. The flag serves as a visual symbol that a general officer is present and accompanies the general officer at all official functions. Major General Richardson will now present Brigadier General Carpenter with a special gift.
All right, so for those of you who are in the division, you know we brought the Sabre back, all right? And for those who were able to see the ceremony this morning, you saw all primary staff, all brigade commanders, all battalion commanders wear the 1902 Officer Sabre, and all of our command sergeants major wear the NCO sword. And we wear it in OCPs with the black belt, but there isn't one for the blues, typically bought, typically found. And I wanted to wear my Sabre with my blues one day, and so I called Marlo White and I said, hey, I need to get a general officer belt that's for the blues, because I'm no longer Army, he's no longer a field artillery, he can't wear the red belt. He said, we don't sell those. So I called the Old Guard. The Old Guard makes them by hand for general officers for special ceremonies. The last one they had made was when President Ford passed away, and the general officer was the escort officer. They made one. So they made one for me. They made one for General Roan, our last DCG. And on behalf of Dee and I would like to present Steve his own general officer belt.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the rendering of honors to Brigadier General Carpenter. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, troopers of the 1st Cavalry Division are presenting Brigadier General Carpenter with a canister representing the first round fired in his honor as a Brigadier General by the salute battery from Alpha Battery 316 Field Artillery Regiment. Ladies and gentlemen, Brigadier General Stephen P. Carpenter.
Still hot. Distinguished guests, friends and family, members of America's First Team who literally moved heaven and earth to make this happen on a very busy week. Everybody from General Richardson to the lowest private working in protocol, obviously the salute battery, the color guard, the band, just went out of their way to make this special and pulled it off without a hitch. I can't tell you how much that means to me. And thank you everyone for joining the Carpenter family on what is a very special day and has been made more special by comments that have already been given. General Funk, thank you for your kind and meaningful words and for officiating the ceremony, but more importantly, thank you for the 40-plus years you and Dr. Funk have given to our country. Steadfast leadership, dedication, love, all 40. And I'm grateful for that, sir, and I know everybody else that's here. General Funk, General Thompson, now General Richardson, thank you for your personal investment in my life. Serving in your formations has been life-enhancing, game-changing for Caitlin and I. And I know we wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for you. And while my dad has passed, and my mom is unable to travel because of her health, I'd like to thank them too. For many things, but mostly for providing me with opportunities that they never had. I was blessed to have two great parents growing up. Not everybody gets that. Parents who role modeled determination, dedication, work ethic, respect, service, unity, and love. Grateful doesn't seem like it does enough. I was thinking blessed is probably a more important word. Jody and Julie, I want to take this time to thank you publicly as well for the impactful role that you played in raising me and for serving as great role models for our family and for always sacrificing to provide for the needs of the people that you love. Actually, anybody in need, not just the people you love. The rest of the family, Ryan, Nathan, my nephews, my in-laws, John, Anna, and Lauren, people that the Carpenters consider family. Coach Vertucci, the Roundsvilles, the Mansions, the Trentons, the Walls, those football players back there in the 5th row that went 4-0 against Navy, my classmates that are here today, soldiers and leaders that I've served with over the last 26 plus years, and of course community leaders that invest themselves every single day to make Central Texas so great. If I had a bumper sticker, it would read, God-fearing and loving Father of 5, whose proudest achievement is his 21-year marriage to Caitlin. Our lives are the exact reflection of the
decisions that we make. I thank God that I had the courage to ask Caitlin to marry me, and probably more importantly, that she made the choice that she did. Anyone that has known me for a moment, and especially if you've known me for years, you know that there's no way I'm standing there without her. Caitlin, with nothing else in my life but you and our 5 children, Bella, Karis, Landry, Colin, Benson. My life is full. It is happy. It is meaningful. I love you guys, and I can't even possibly tell you or put the words I'm proud of. I've loved being an American soldier for the last 26 plus years because the Army is a people business. The ultimate team sport. My favorite part of this profession is building and contributing towards cohesive, high-performing teams and helping soldiers and their families achieve their personal and professional goals. I'm honored to stand here today, but we all know that this Army profession is not about self. Any single promotion pales in comparison to the 187 streamers that adorn the Army colors. Colors that represent campaigns that American soldiers fought for, bled for, died for, since 1775. They are why we have the freedom and the liberty that we have today. There is no greater honor than supporting and defending the Constitution, and to do so as part of a team sworn to do the same, it is an absolute privilege. The Carpenters are equally privileged to be a part of the 1st Cavalry Division at this moment in its very rich history, 100-plus year history. America's first team, our nation's only cavalry division, and the most lethal armored formation on the face of the earth. Courageous, audacious, victorious. It truly is a great team. It's our team. It's the first team. I am a coach's son, and I cannot overstate how much I wanted my dad here today. But my sister Julie said it best. Dad has the best seat in the house. She's right. But if you will allow me, I would like to share a little bit of him with you. My dad wrote me every single day during these barracks. Twice on the first day. Once at 4 a.m. and once right before midnight. His first letter was written on June 30th, 1992. Exactly 30 years from today. And it will give you a small glimpse into one of many reasons that I serve and why this profession is right for the Carpenter family. June 30th, 1992. Dear Steve, I write this letter with a heavy heart. A heart filled with pride and love for a son that has shown commitment, sincerity, discipline, caring, and big time courage. We won some great ones and we lost some, but never did I feel more pride than I did yesterday, nor an emptiness. I kept telling myself, don't get too high or too low, keep a proper balance. I know the more we invest in this experience, the tougher it will be for us to give up. And this won't be new, the next part, if you've ever worked for me. Stephen, the opportunity that lies ahead of you is no different than the generations that came before you. It is an opportunity to make an imprint on the world, to change what is bad, to improve what is already good. We go through life sometimes and we think that our overall contribution to mankind, society, is small and insignificant. But the quality of your contributions over time have an ever-increasing effect on the stature of your families, your community, this nation, and this government. And if you wear the uniform of the American soldier, even the world. Each of us has a definitive choice to make each day. To pursue our goals so we can look back on them with pride. To pursue our goals so we can make a positive contribution to the society in which we live. To go forth and accept this responsibility that we call life and wrestle with it to the best of our ability and to always seek to do our very best. Remember, on the road to excellence, surely you will be criticized. President Roosevelt had it right. America's full of critics. The freedom we provide allows for it. But the critics play no games, they fight no fights, they make no mistakes, because they attempt nothing. Down in the arena, son, that's where the doers are. So keep your ass in the arena and stay with it. Many will succeed during these uncertain times because they have chosen to succeed. Some will not because they passively await success. So set your goals, grit your teeth, lay back your ears, and never give up. Never give up. As long as you breathe air, son. Never give up. The end result, your life will be fuller. It will be happier. It will be more meaningful. With all my heart, Steve, I want to walk beside you. And how Dad always concludes, God bless you, Steve, and God bless America. Love, Dad. My dad has always walked beside me. Even now, right here. Just as I will always walk beside you. It is my goal, John is that one day I will live a life where my children will see me through the same lens that I saw them. Thank you for allowing me to share that. My life is full. It's happy. It's meaningful. I'm grateful that you're all a part of it. And it continues to be a great honor to share the arena with all of you. First team, live the legend. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as the colors depart. Please join the 1st Cavalry Division Band in singing the Spirit of the Cav and the Army Song. join General Funk in congratulating the Carpenter family. There will be cake and light refreshments provided under the Major Frank W. and Mrs. Sue Mayborn Rotunda sign. All are invited to the Carpenter residence for the reception beginning at 1900 hours. Thank you for attending. First team.